When everything falls apart, the countryside guys think they've won. Cabin in the woods, well water, deer in the yard. Good for them. But you? You're stuck in concrete and glass, surrounded by a million other people who are all about to get very desperate, very fast. And here's the terrifying truth. In a collapse, the most dangerous environment on the planet isn't the wilderness. It's a city. Not because of the buildings, because of the people. A million brains all running the same panic software at the same time, scrambling for the same food, the same water, the same way out. You don't need to fight them. You don't need to outrun them. You need to become invisible, not metaphorically, practically, strategically, completely. Here's how to vanish in a city that's eating itself alive. First, understand the threat model. You are not hiding from a government. You're not hiding from satellites or facial recognition. That stuff is offline. The grid is dead, remember? You're hiding from Dave. Dave lives 3 floors down. Dave is hungry. Dave saw you carrying groceries last Tuesday. Dave has a crowbar and no plan. That's your threat. Desperate, disorganized, observant humans who are running out of options and looking for someone who still has some. Your job is to make sure that someone never looks like you. Step 1. Kill your silhouette. In a functioning city, nobody notices you. You're just another body on the sidewalk. But in a collapsed city, everything changes. Movement attracts attention. A person walking with purpose through an empty street stands out like a flashlight in a cave. So you change how you move. Stick to edges, not centers. Walk along walls, under overhangs, through alleys. Never cross an open space if you can go around it. Move when others move. If there's a crowd heading somewhere, blend into it, then peel off. If the streets are empty, you should be too. Travel at dawn and dusk. Not noon, too visible. Not midnight, too suspicious. The gray hours, when light is flat and shapes blur. That's your window. And change your appearance constantly. Not like a spy movie, like a homeless person. Jacket on, jacket off, hood up, hood down. Carry a bag one day, ditch it the next. People identify others by outline, gait, and gear. Change all 3 and your neighbor won't recognize you from 40 feet away. Humans are terrible at identifying people outside of context. Use that. Step 2. Your home is not your home anymore. It's a target. If you bugged in, if you stayed in your apartment with your supplies, congratulations. You're sitting in a labeled box. People know where you live. They know your door. They know your window. In a collapse, your address is a liability. So you do one of 2 things. Option A, make your home look dead. I mean dead. Abandoned. Like nobody's been there in weeks. Tape black trash bags over the windows from the inside. Scatter some junk near the door. Let dust accumulate on the handle. No light, no sound, no cooking smells. You eat cold food. You move quietly. You enter and exit through a route nobody watches, a back stairwell, a window to a fire escape, a basement corridor that connects to the building next door. You become a ghost in your own apartment. Option B, you don't stay. You cache your supplies in 2 or 3 different spots across a mile radius, an abandoned storage unit, a parked car you broke into, a dumpster behind a restaurant that nobody's checking anymore. You rotate between locations. You never sleep in the same place twice. This is harder, but it makes you almost impossible to find, because even you don't have a fixed position. You're a moving target that nobody's aiming at. Step 3, control your scent. This one sounds insane until you think about it. In a city with no electricity, no ventilation, no running water, the air goes flat, dead, still. And in that stillness, smell travels. Cooking food is a smoke signal made of aroma. The guy 3 apartments down can't see your canned beans, but he can smell them. He's been starving for 2 days. His nose is now a weapon. So here's what you do. Eat cold whenever possible. If you must cook, do it in a sealed space and vent the steam through a path that disperses it. A damp towel over a pot reduces smell by a shocking amount. Cook at the same time rain falls. The moisture in the air kills scent trails. And never ever cook meat unless you can do it in a sealed oven with zero leakage. The smell of cooking meat in a starving city is basically ringing a dinner bell for every desperate person within 300 feet. Step 4. Light discipline. This is the one that kills people. One candle. That's all it takes. One little flame in a window at 2 a.m., and suddenly your apartment isn't abandoned anymore. It's occupied. It's stocked. It's worth visiting. In a blackout, light is a billboard. So you go dark. Completely. If you need light, use a single red LED. Red light doesn't travel as far, doesn't bloom through curtains the way white light does, and it preserves your night vision so you can see threats coming. No flashlights pointed at windows, no phone screens, even if your phone still works. If you're reading, you do it under a blanket with a pen light like a kid sneaking comics past bedtime, except the stakes are slightly higher than getting grounded. Step 5. Sound. Your voice carries further than you think. In a city with no traffic, no AC hum, no music, no television, the ambient noise floor drops to almost nothing. A whisper in a hallway becomes a conversation overheard 2 floors away. Footsteps on a hardwood floor sound like drum beats through thin walls. So you pad your floors. Blankets, rugs, cardboard, anything to muffle impact. You wear soft shoes or socks. You close doors slowly. You never, ever argue, yell, or play anything out loud. Communication with your group happens face to face, in whispers, or in writing. Treat your shelter like a submarine. If the enemy can hear you, you're already compromised. And speaking of noise, dogs bark, babies cry. These are not flaws. They're alarms that you can't turn off. If you have either, your strategy needs to account for it. Keep the dog calm, fed, and near you. Keep the baby warm and close. But know that both are broadcasting your position constantly. Plan around it. Step 6. The gray man principle. This is the core of urban invisibility. You don't stand out. You don't look strong. You don't look weak. You don't look prepared. You don't look desperate. You look like nothing. Average height energy. Average clothes. Average speed. No eye contact, but not avoiding it either. No expensive gear. No tactical backpack. No military boots. You wear what everyone else is wearing. Dirty jeans. A hoodie. Sneakers that have seen better days. If everyone's carrying plastic bags, you carry a plastic bag. If everyone's limping, you limp. Mirror the crowd. Become wallpaper. The gray man isn't invisible. He's forgettable. After you pass someone, they can't describe you. Not your face, not your clothes, not your direction. You left 0 impression. That's not failure. That's victory. The moment you're memorable, you're trackable. The moment you're trackable, you're findable. The moment you're findable, you're vulnerable. Step 7. Routes. Never use the same path twice. This is basic, but nobody does it. You walk to the water source on Monday via 5th Street. On Tuesday, you take the alley behind the laundromat. On Wednesday, you loop through the parking garage. Patterns are death. Humans are pattern recognition machines. If someone sees you pass the same corner at the same time 3 days in a row, they know where you'll be on day 4, and they'll be waiting. Plan 5 routes to every critical location. Water, cache, observation point. Rotate randomly. If one route feels wrong, trust that instinct. Your subconscious processes threats faster than your conscious mind. That uneasy feeling in your gut is your brain screaming at you in a language you forgot how to speak. Step 8. the decoy life. This is advanced, but it works. Create a version of yourself that doesn't exist. Leave a jacket on a chair near a window in an apartment you don't use. Leave footprints going in a direction you never go. Hang a shirt on a line on a balcony 2 buildings over. Put a half-eaten can of food in a room you've abandoned. You're creating ghosts, false signals, noise in the system. If someone's tracking you, they're now tracking 3 versions of you, and none of them are real. It's misdirection. Magicians do it with cards. You're doing it with survival. And it costs you almost nothing. A shirt, a can, 5 minutes of effort. But it buys you confusion. And confusion is time. And time, in a collapse, is everything. Step 9. Know when to move and when to freeze. There's a rhythm to a collapsing city. The first 48 hours are chaos. Everyone's moving, panicking, looting. You do not move during this phase unless your life depends on it. You sit tight. You let the storm pass. After the initial wave, there's a lull. Day 3 to 5. People are regrouping, hoarding, negotiating. This is your window to move, to cash, to scout. Because attention is inward. Everyone's focused on their own little kingdom. Then comes the predator phase. Day 6 onward. The desperate ones have burned through their options. Now they're hunting. Organized groups start forming. Territories get drawn. If you haven't established your invisibility by now, you're behind. Way behind. And here's the part nobody talks about. Sometimes the safest move is to do absolutely nothing. Don't forage. Don't scout. Don't move. Sit in your dark, silent, scentless hole and wait. A day of doing nothing might feel like failure, but it's not. It's discipline. It's the understanding that every time you step outside, you roll the dice. And the longer this goes on, the worse those odds get. Step 10. The exit. At some point, the city becomes unlivable. Water's gone. Disease is spreading. The power structure has shifted from government to gangs. You need to leave. But you don't walk out the front gate with a backpack. You leave the way water leaves, through the cracks. Find the infrastructure. Storm drains. Utility tunnels. Rail corridors. River channels. Every city has veins that nobody watches because nobody thinks of them as exits. They're maintenance, they're ugly, they're underground, and they're perfect. Study these routes before you need them. Walk them if you can. Know where they surface, know where they flood, know where they collapse. Your exit route shouldn't be a road. Roads are funnels. Funnels are traps. Your exit should be a seam in the city's skin that nobody else noticed because they were too busy fighting over the front door. Here's what it comes down to. A city is not a death trap. It's a maze. And mazes have rules. Control what you emit. Light, sound, smell, movement. Control what you present. Appearance, routine, pattern. Control what you leave behind. Traces, trails, evidence. Do those 3 things, and 1 million people become irrelevant. Not because they can't find you, because they don't know you exist. The strongest survivors aren't the ones with the most guns or the biggest stockpile. They're the ones nobody remembers seeing. You don't need to be dangerous. You need to be gone. Vanish. Dissolve into the concrete like rain on a sidewalk. Let the chaos burn itself out while you sit in the silence and wait. Not because you're hiding, because you've already won. The best way to survive a city of 1 million desperate people is to become person number 1,000,001. The one nobody counted.